What is good, y'all? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're taking a quiz that somebody said is gonna expose me. He said this is the hardest quiz he's ever taken, and if I take it, I will be exposed. Exposed or exposed? Exposed. So thank you to Magic Man for making it. The name of it is NBA Team Trivia. One question for each NBA team. Very hard. Very hard. So there's 30 questions. Made by Magic Man. He said it took him a long time. So thank you, Magic Man. Let's see if this exposed me. On the famous play known as the steal, Larry Bird stole the inbound pass in the closing moments of the game against the Pistons and passed it to which player for a layup? I know it was not. It was a black guy, right? Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge are black, but I also remember it being a guard, so it wasn't Robert Parrish. It had to be Dennis Johnson. Let's get it. 1 for 1. The Nets were led to 2 consecutive NBA final appearances by superstar guard Jason Kidd. Let's not forget that. What other NBA superstar did the Nets have to give up in the trade to get Kidd? Okay, let's think about this. I wouldn't consider Keith Van Horn a superstar. He did have some years where he was solid. I'm pretty sure he was an all-star at least once. Never heard this name before, so I'm going to immediately cross it off because I've never heard it. I'm going to go Stephon Marbury. Now, Steven Jackson, he did have his years where he's pretty solid, but Stephon Marbury was without a doubt a superstar in his prime days. So, yes, I don't remember that trade at all. I'm going to have to go back and look at who else was a part of it. But, yeah, that's 2 for 2. The New York Knicks were struggling with their fortunes suddenly changed for the better. They got the first overall pick in the draft. It was released to be the frozen envelope. That was 1985. How can we forget that? That was either the first actual lottery or the first lottery that was televised. One of the two. But yeah, it's one of the biggest conspiracies in NBA history that David Stern was out there folding stuff, or it was frozen. There are a lot of conspiracies about it, but saying that the New York Knicks rigged it to get it, I don't believe it, but it is what it is. Number 4. Before the 1983 playoffs, the 76ers star center Moses Malone, when he was asked by reporters stating that he would go foo, meaning that he would sweep the playoff series, who did he lose to? Yeah, I don't remember. I'm going to go Boston because it's the 80s, but I do not remember. Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks. It's not that I don't remember. I don't know. Like, that's not something I can remember if I had no idea. But now we do. Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, first one wrong. The 2001 playoffs, the Toronto Raptors faced up against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference second round. The series went to Game 7. Before the final game, a Raptor player was criticized for attending his graduation ceremony that led to him playing poorly. Vince Carter. Vince Carter. Can't forget that one. And the 1986 playoffs, Michael Jordan put up an NBA record for points scored in a single game against the Celtics. This led to the Celtics' great Larry Bird to call him God disguised as Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. That was 63 points. I'm a Bulls fan. I'm going to know that one, right? Number 7, the Cleveland Cavaliers are in part famous for getting the first overall picks in the draft. Some of those picks were helped their franchise significantly, and some of them, how many? Okay, let's think about this. Okay, of course, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Andrew Wiggins, even though he didn't play for them, he got traded for Kevin Love. Anthony Bennett, that's 4. Austin Carr, who's like the 70s, like the beginning of the 70s. Is that 5? There's Brad Daugherty. Was he a first overall pick? It could be. It's 5 or 6. I don't remember if Brad was a first overall pick. I'm going to go with my gut and say he is, though. 6. Wiggins, Irving, James, Bennett, Daugherty, and Carr. Who is Austin Carr, you ask? I know y'all asking that because those other guys we know about. Either they recent or Brad turned out to be pretty okay, right? Austin Carr, he was like the play-by-play guy for the Cleveland Cavaliers for a little bit. I don't know if he still is, but that's the reason I know that. I remember him talking about it. I remember them talking about it, and that's right. Number 8. The Pistons won the 1990 NBA championship versus the Portland Trail Blazers after rallying back in the fourth quarter, Game 7 down by 7. I remember this. Well, of course, I don't remember it because I wasn't born yet, but I know who hit this shot with less than a second left. The original microwave, Vinnie Johnson, the original 6-man, Vinnie Johnson hit that big shot. You don't know who Vinnie Johnson is. He was basically Jamal Crawford before Jamal Crawford. He was Lou Williams before Lou Williams. He was one of the original 6 men. Like, the guy was amazing. The Pistons-Pacers brawl, famously known as the Malice at the Palace. Of course, we knew about that. One of the worst and most violent things that happened in NBA history. 9 players from both teams received suspensions, fines, and some received community service. I did not know people had community service because of this. Ron Artest, who was having one of the best seasons of his career, was suspended for the remainder of the season to receive almost a $5 million fine. Jermaine O'Neal received $4 million, yada, yada, yada. What Pacer player struck a fan that was on the court during the brawl? Okay. I know Steven Jackson and Ron Artest, they were up in the stands throwing hands, all right? So I know they weren't on the floor punching. It's between Jermaine O'Neal and Anthony Johnson. I'm going to go Anthony Johnson. I know Jermaine O'Neal wasn't involved, but I don't know if he was. Obviously, he did have something to do with it. He was fined $4 million. Well, maybe we should pick him. He was fined $4 million, so he had to do something dramatic. He had to do something big because, I mean, Ron Artest was in the stands punching fans, and he got $5 million. So Jermaine O'Neal had to do something big to get $4 million. I'm going to go Jermaine O'Neal with this one. And that's right. That's right. Okay. Logic, man. Use the logic. The Milwaukee Bucks won their first championship in 1971, led by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson. Who was their coach? I have no idea. I'm just going to pick. I don't know. I do not know coaches from the 70s. I'm sorry. But okay, we get another one wrong. The Atlanta Hawks have had their fair share of rim protectors throughout their years. They have 5 players who are top 20 on the blocks. I did not know that. Okay. Which one of these players have played for the Hawks, have the least amount of blocks? Oh, okay. Dikembe, I know he's up there. Dikembe, we're going to scratch him off. Tree Rollins is up there. I've never heard the name George T. Johnson. So I'm going to pick it. And that's wrong. It was Theo Ratliff. Okay. 2 wrong in a row. We need to get back on track. The Charlotte Hornets had a great big man partnership in the 90s with Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. Of course we know that. Alonzo was drafted 2nd overall from Georgetown in 1992. Larry Johnson was drafted 1st overall in 1991 out of UNLV. He played for another college. What college did Larry Johnson play for? Now, y'all know I'm the king of knowing colleges. Odessa for big Larry Johnson, man. I think that's somewhere in Texas. But I'll take that. Get back on track. After getting those last 2 wrong, let's get back on track. The Miami Heat won their 2nd championship led by league MVP LeBron James in 2011-12. They played great throughout the season. 46 wins. That was a lockout year, so it's shortened. Which player led them in blocks per game throughout this regular season? Now, I originally thinking LeBron, but Joel Anthony played a lot of minutes for them back there. Before he became like nobody, he started basically, right? Joel Anthony started, and because of that, I'm guessing he was their rim protector, and that's right. It would be easy to pick LeBron since he's so good at everything, but Joel Anthony was the right answer. Point guard and future head coach Scott Skiles broke the NBA record for most assists in the game. Don't need to read the rest. Every NBA fan should know that Scott Skiles had 30 assists in the game. Manu Bol, a 7'7" African center, may he rest in peace, for the Bullets, broke the rookie record for blocking shots while playing for the Bullets and led the league 2 times in blocks. What season was his last in Washington? I don't know. I do not know. Let's go with that. I was way off. Way off. Okay. I mean, hey, I think I'm doing pretty good, but some of these questions are tough. The Nuggets in the 90s were famous for their running gun off playing style under Paul Westhead. Of course, we know that. They gave prolific scorers the green light to light up the scoreboard within seconds of possession. Each one of these scoring machines, and which one of these scoring machines not played for the Nuggets under Paul Westhead? So these guys all these guys play for the Nuggets, but which of them did not play with Westhead? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to go Chris Jackson. It was Alex English. The reason I immediately crossed him off the list, because you think about great players from Denver that play for Denver, he's the first person that comes to mind. So I thought maybe he was a part of that team, but I guess not. Okay. The Timberwolves were involved in a salary cap scandal where they promised a future multi-million-dollar deal, and the players signed with the team for low. This is Joe Smith. That's Joe Smith, without a doubt. There are a lot of players that spend most of their career with the Sonics/Thunder. What NBA players spend most of the time in a Supersonics/Thunder jersey? Now, I know Gary Payton has played the most games, but Nick Collison played for them for like 14 years. Sorry, got a text, but we're back on the grind. During the early 2000s, the Portland Trailblazers got a bad reputation and the league consistent misconduct, earning them the name the Jailblazers. Yes, remember that. One incident that occurred during this era of the franchise was Zach Randolph punching a teammate in practice. I don't know. Who did he punch? Let's just take a guess. Yeah, I don't know that one. That's fine. I think we're still doing pretty good. I'm proud of myself because these are actually pretty tough. Let's get to it. In the 90s, the Utah Jazz, led by future Hall of Famer John Stockton and Karl Malone, were brought twice to the finals. They lost to MJ, of course. They had a good supporting cast of role players, but they couldn't win it all at the end. Which of these players did not make a finals appearance? I don't know. Dude, this is, yeah, Magic Man, you got me here. I don't know if I'm being exposed, but these questions are hard. The We Believe season for the Golden State Warriors, they knocked off the first seeded Dirk Nowitzki-led Mavericks in 6 games. They lost the conference semifinal to the Jazz, but they won against the Mavericks. Well, yes, it'll always be remembered. Which player for the Warriors stepped up in the series versus the Mavericks? 2 33-point games. They got to be Big Baron Davis, of course. In the 1998 draft, the Clippers took Michael Olowokandi out of Pacific, and they thought with a promising talent time, it turned out to be one of the biggest busts in NBA history. The Clippers hired former NBA superstar center in the 1999 to tutor him. Who did they bring in? Dude, how many have I got wrong? This is tough. Let's just take a shot. Let's say Kareem. I don't know why Kareem would do this because he was a Laker. But that's right. All right. Okay. Let's get to the Lakers question now. The LA Lakers, great. Irvin Magic Johnson, one of the best, if not the best point guards to ever play in the NBA. He's a 3-time MVP as well as a 3-time Finals MVP. Which year did he win both MVP and Finals MVP? Oh, it's either this one or this one. It was that one. God. That's frustrating. It's frustrating when you narrow it down to 2 and then you pick the wrong one. At the end of the 1994-1995 season, the GM of the Phoenix Suns, Brian Colangelo, who's now the GM of the 76ers, made a costly trade for the organization. He wanted to give Charles Barkley some help in the post, so he traded one of the best Suns players of all time and a first-round pick to Cleveland for the big guy who turned out, who he thought would solve the problem, but in fact played below average for them. That was John Williams. Without a doubt, cannot forget about that. Brian Colangelo has made some not-so-great moves in the past. In the 2002 Western Conference Finals, the Sacramento Kings played the California rivals and the Los Angeles Lakers. This is the rigged one, right? The series went to Game 7, and in the Game 6 of the series, I believe, one of the most fixed games in NBA history. At the closing moments of the game, the Lakers inbound pass. This was Mike Bibby. He was elbow. Mike Bibby. Okay, we're redeeming ourselves. The Dallas Mavericks won their first championship in 2010-2011. They're the 3rd seed in the playoffs. What was their record? I don't know, dude. Who remembers? If you're not a Dallas Maverick fan, you should not remember their record from 2011. In the 1977 season, the Houston Rockets won just 28 games. This is the punch. Portland? Lakers? Oh my God. Yeah, I'm being exposed, boys. The Memphis Grizzlies were not only in Memphis, they were part of Vancouver. Yes, we know that. Which of these foreign players played in Memphis first? That's Pau Gasol. The New Orleans Hornets were once a team to be reckoned with. Okay, I know this one. All-Stars, David West, and Chris Paul. Peja Stojakovic was also the guy. And the last one, the San Antonio Spurs were always regarded as a great defensive team under head coach Greg Popovich. They had some great defensive players throughout the years, including 2 players who led the league in steals per game. One was Kawhi Leonard, and one was Alvin Robertson. I got 20 out of 30. I am happy and proud of that score. Magic Man, you did stump us on 10 of those questions, but I'll take the 20 out of 30. The link should be in the description. Let me know how many you got right, because without a doubt, this is the hardest one I've ever taken. But a 20 out of 30 is a grade I'm happy with. If you did enjoy the video, as always, be sure to leave a like. It's been the King of the Fourth Quarter, and I'm out.